All right, let's talk about something that so many teams get wrong, but is absolutely critical for success: test completion. It's not just about being done. It's about finishing strong. And if you're aiming for that CTAL-TM certification, you have to master this. So, are you ready to learn how to really stick the landing on your projects? Let's jump in. So, here's the game plan. First, we're going to talk about why a professional finish is so much more than just saying, "we're done." Then, we'll break down the official ISTQB framework for actually doing it right. After that, we'll get into the really cool part: the long-term value you create. And of course, we'll wrap it up by putting your new smarts to the test. Let's get to it. Okay, Section 1, finishing strong. We're really digging into the difference between a project that just peters out and one that crosses the finish line with purpose and a clear sense of accomplishment.
Come on, we've all seen this happen, right? The code ships, everyone high-fives, and then immediately scatters to the next 5-alarm fire. And the project just fizzles out. But is that really good enough? It almost always leaves behind a mess of unanswered questions and that sinking feeling that we're just going to make all the same mistakes on the very next project.
This really lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the messy end. I'm not kidding. I was on a project once where we did just that. 6 months later, a whole new team had to rebuild our test automation from scratch because no one, and I mean no one, knew where the final versions were. That's the messy end. But on the other side, the professional finish. That's where you get clear status reports, assets you can actually reuse, and best of all, real continuous improvement. That's the goal.
So, the big question is, how do we make sure we get that professional finish every single time? Well, that leads us straight into Section 2. We're going to walk through the formal framework from the ISTQB syllabus. Think of it as your step-by-step guide to wrapping things up like a pro. Okay, so what's in this framework? It's really a 5-step process. First, you report. Then you archive. You do a formal handover, you clean up your environment, and finally, and this one is the real game changer, you learn lessons. We're going to touch on all 5 of these. The first big thing you'll produce is the test completion report. Now, let's be clear, this is way more than just a quick summary email. Its main job is to be the final verdict. It confirms that you actually did what you said you were going to do and met the objectives from the test plan. It's the official sign-off on the whole testing effort.
So what are you actually putting in this thing? Well, you're pulling together all the key evidence, your final test results, progress reports, defect trends, all of it. Then you measure all that data against the original objectives. This gives your stakeholders a crystal clear, fact-based answer to the 2 most important questions. How did we do, and are we really ready?
All right, after the big report, there's some essential housekeeping. And trust me, this stuff saves so many future headaches. You archive your testware, your scripts, your cases, in a proper system so they don't get lost. You formally hand over things like the known defect list to the support teams. And you clean up your test environment, leaving it pristine for the next project. It sounds simple, but you'd be amazed how much chaos this prevents.
Okay, so we've covered the what and the how. Now for my favorite part, the why. This is where we see how all these simple tasks add up to something huge. We're talking about creating lasting value that actually makes your future projects better. This is where the magic happens. And you don't have to take my word for it. It's right there in the syllabus. The lessons learned can be used for test process improvement. This isn't just a nice idea. It's a core philosophy of professional testing. This single sentence is how you turn a one-time project into long-term organizational wisdom. The main tool for this is the retrospective. And let's get one thing straight. This is not a meeting to point fingers or assign blame. It's a structured, safe meeting for the team to honestly talk about what worked, what didn't, and why. The insights you get here are often so valuable they end up improving the entire development process, not just testing. And this is the absolute key takeaway. Just documenting what you learned isn't enough. The real goal, the true power of all this, is turning those lessons into actual, tangible improvements for the next project. The goal isn't just learning. The goal is improvement. Okay, theory time is over. You've seen the framework, you understand the value. Now let's see if it's all sunk in. We've got a few exam-style questions to really lock in these ideas. You ready? First question for you. A test manager is putting together the test completion report. What is its primary purpose? Have a look at A, B, C, and D. Go ahead and pause if you need a second to think.
And the correct answer is B.
So, why B?
Because the report's #1 job is to be that final check. It's the definitive statement that measures everything you did against the goals you set in the test plan. It's what gives stakeholders the confidence to say, yes, we are ready to release. All right, ready for number 2? During test completion, which of these activities is all about making sure you can reuse your work later and have a clear audit trail? Take a look.
If you went with C, you nailed it.
And the reasoning here is pretty clear. Archiving isn't just about stashing files away. It's about protecting your team's hard work and making it easy to find for the next project. This saves a ton of time down the road and gives you that bulletproof historical record you need for any kind of audit. Okay, last one. This one really ties it all together. Which of these tasks is the one that directly fuels the test process improvement cycle? Think about that feedback loop we talked about. And the final answer is D. This is that crucial connection. The whole point of documenting lessons learned in a retrospective is so you can use them. They are the direct input, the fuel, for making your process better next time. This is how you create that powerful feedback loop and stop making the same mistakes over and over again. So, I'll leave you with this thought. Think about the very last project you finished. What is the single most important lesson you learned from it? And more importantly, how could you use that one lesson to completely transform your next project for the better? That's the real power of mastering this final act. Thanks for watching.